This is the visual representation of how my face feels. Hello and welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome. I'm Vanessa, this is Nessa CX Beauty, and today we are going to review the brand new Sephora Clear and Cover Concealer. So this is supposed to clear up blemishes and act as skincare as well as cover up any blemishes. That's the gist. This retails for $14 and has 0.12 fluid ounces, so that's around half of the amount of product you would get in a standard concealer, so that is something to think about. This is how thin it is compared to the Beauty Blender Bounce Concealer, which has 0.27 fluid ounces in it, which is more than double. But I got the shade 2.5 Bisque, and it did come with around 16 shades, and I do think that it covered its bases pretty well in terms of undertone and depth, but it could do better because it has like some light, some medium, some dark, but there are some transitions I think that it did miss. So a little bit about the concealer. It's a dual usage concealer formulated with 2% salicylic acid, and that instantly covers the look of blemishes and addresses the appearance of new blemishes. The coverage is medium and the finish is matte. In addition, it targets normal, dry, combination, and oily skin types. So that's basically covering almost all of your bases for skin type. So my skin type is dry and / normal sometimes. So we will see how it works on myself. But if you're interested in seeing that and how it performs, just continue watching. Alright, so to expedite the process, I did already moisturize and prime. I used the Too Faced Prime and Poreless Plus primer that just came out. I'm just going to go in to my blemishes with this concealer since it's a blemish cover concealer, and it also has salicylic acid in it to like help with breakouts. So these are already popped, so I'm not expecting too much in terms of like the skincare aspect, but I do want to see if it helps with coverage throughout the day. And then I'm just going to tap that all in with my micro beauty blender. This is just the concealer with no foundation. It did cover some of the darkness. I think I got too light of a shade though. So I will be using this under my eyes. Even though it's not marketed as an under eye concealer, I do want to see how it looks with the under eyes. So now I'm just going to put on foundation. I'm going to use the Pro Matte from LA Girl in the shade Sand. Recently it's been really hard to cover the dark spots because they're in the healing process. They used to be pimples. I popped them and now they're scabbing over, which I don't think is good. Do not follow in my footsteps. But that's what's been happening to me, and ever since they've turned into these black little marks, I haven't been able to cover them fully with just foundation. So I want to see if this helps out a little bit. Okay, so we are done putting on foundation. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit. You can still see a little bit of the darkness. Sorry about my rash. I'm going to like cover it. So it didn't do much in terms of covering, but I also maybe attribute that to me getting the wrong shade, which is why I'm going to be using this under my eyes because it is light enough to highlight my under eyes. And I just want to see how it performs because, you know, even though it's not meant to do this, maybe it might surprise me and actually do really well on my under eyes. And y'all, I'm sorry if you guys see the little rash from a distance as well, just because it's hard for me to look at it, so I'm wondering if it's hard for you guys to look at it through camera as well. Yeah, this is actually like the perfect highlight shade for me. I'm wondering if I get a darker color shade, if it would actually cover my blemishes and dark spots well. So that is it under my eyes. It doesn't look terrible, but I think I want to add in another layer. And now for powder, I'm gonna go into my Believe powder with, actually I'm gonna go in with my beauty blender, just because I've been using my beauty blender under my eyes recently and I feel like my concealer has been way less creasy. So we're gonna try to do it with this concealer as well. Alright, so we're gonna finish off the face. I'm gonna come back, tell y'all the time of completion, and zoom in. Okay, so we are back, and time of completion of makeup is 10:40 a.m. I'm gonna try to keep this on for the whole day, just to let y'all know how it works under the eyes. I still see my dark spots, but whatever. I guess. So under my eyes and between my nose and under my chin and on my chin, it kind of looks like it oxidized. So it doesn't look as light as I first applied it. Just to remind you guys, this is how it first applied. My under eye doesn't look terrible, like my natural creases are creased and that's always gonna happen, but it doesn't look too dry. The only thing I will say is that it definitely looks way darker than it first did when I first applied it. And no wonder this is not marketed for your under eyes, but I'm still gonna wear it for the entire day. I do not like it for covering my blemishes. I much rather use my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, which is one of my holy grails in Bisque Medium 2. If you are one of my foundation twinsies, that is the shade that usually covers up my dark spots and blends into my skin tone. So I will be right back for all of my check-ins. Okay, so we are back and it is 2:53. We've had this on for roughly 4 hours. 11, 12, 1, 2. Yes, 4 hours. So we're gonna zoom in and I need to tell y'all, I am not feeling the, oh, sorry. I'm not feeling this concealer too much. So this is how my under eyes are looking. They don't look terrible, but they feel horrible. Well, it does look pretty dry, but they feel horrible. It feels like my under eyes are being like tightened. Like all of this is going up. Like I don't even know how to describe it. Like say this was my under eye. So this is essentially this, like that. It feels like all of this is being pulled into my inner corner or something, which is not a comfortable feeling. So I definitely don't think that this concealer is for the under eye, and again, it's not marketed for under the eye. I'm gonna take it off because it feels like my face is being pulled in, but as far as what it is for, covering up, it does, for some reason it does look a little bit better on the face, but I'm not sure it looks too different than what it would look like with just foundation. So I am calling it at this point at the 4 hour mark. I was gonna wear it for 8 hours, but calling it at the 4 hour mark because it feels like my face is being like pulled. So I don't think I would recommend this at all. I've worn it for the past 3 days by itself for like Zoom meetings, just like covering up my patches, and it's been fine for that. But for full day wear, I do not think I would recommend this, just because my face in all the parts that I put the concealer feels like it's being scrunched up or pulled. And that's my 2 cents on it. I was highly interested in this concealer, but I think that the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer is a way better alternative. I know this is for like blemishes and stuff, but even if I did have like a blemish problem, I don't think I would be able to sustain the day with this concealer on based on how my face feels like right now. It literally feels like this is the visual representation of how my face feels. So that's all I gotta say. I'm gonna take this off. I am not wearing this for 8 hours. It feels horrible. And that is all I have to say. Thank you so much for watching and seeing me struggle with this concealer. I hope you enjoyed. Have a great day. or night wherever you are in the world, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.